Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. Just going to give it a few minutes before I get started. I hope everybody's doing well. It is a very windy day. So if you hear a little bit in the background, that's what you're listening to. My Mac is right next to one of my windows. So you'll hear some outside noise and dogs barking and birds singing and all that stuff. But as long as you can hear my message, that's the only thing that counts. But yeah, the wind gust is horrible. It's like up to 30 miles an hour. It's that tropical storm Arthur that's coming up the East Coast. We're not getting any rain from it, but we are getting the wind from the outer band of the storm. That's what we're getting. Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Wow. Boy, do we have some interesting things to cover. And I'm going to share my screen with you as soon as we get a few more people in. Just like any other case that we see, there's all kinds of twists and turns in these cases. We're talking about Ahmaud Arbery or Breonna Taylor. Whenever we're involved in any kind of shooting, it's going to be a boatload of lies coming out from the cops. Seriously, we can expect that to happen. When do they kill one of us and they don't lie? And they don't try to cover up. They don't try to fake things up. They do it all the time. And it's not different in this case, unfortunately. Nevertheless, horrible how these two individuals' lives have ended. Oh, boy. All right, family. Shalom. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. And we have about 73 people right now between my two channels. If you are not a channel member or a patron, chances are you may not get too many live stream notices in advance. I do give it in advance to my channel members and also people that are patrons. They get advance notice. Okay, y'all. Let's see if we can get started here. All right. Yeah, well, we know they have been slaughtering us like animals since chattel slavery. I had somebody write me and say, well, you didn't say they killed him like an animal. I said, yes, I did. You got poor listening skills. And who the hell don't know that about the police officers in the Black community? It's historic the way they kill us unarmed. This didn't just start happening. Nobody has to point that out in every video. That's a known fact in the Black community. Who the hell don't know that? That's silly. And if you feel that I did not touch on everything, you got an opportunity to sit on your channel, make videos, and say everything you need to say. Plain and simple. All right. Just let me know if you can see my screen by giving me a 1. Nobody can say everything in the video. That is unrealistic. All right, y'all. Please give me a 1. Well, T. Taylor, I'm not even worried about it. And personally, I think it's the same person making an attempt to troll me. They use different accounts, but their writing style never changes. They use the same writing style, different accounts, and I know it's the same person. And the funny part about the whole thing, none of their comments ever make it into the comment section. None of it. So I need not concern myself about anybody like that, because they're not making any point. Ladies and gentlemen, there are more details that have come out in the case of Breonna Taylor, and we're going to cover that. So, it's just like anything else. It's the typical cops lying, making things up, falsifying police reports. But see, these cops actually took it a step further. So, unfortunately, because of the way YouTube has their policies, I'm not able to show y'all the articles like I used to. That's why I will show you a screenshot and I will still give you the article. And anything that I say to you, you can look it up. All right. You don't have to sit around calling me a liar or misleading people or faking this and faking that. You got the ability to research just like I do. So instead of writing all that bogus stuff, just research it. I mean, isn't that common sense? So let's get started. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Now, there's a reason why I have all of these individuals on the screen, and I will explain as I go along, ladies and gentlemen. And pardon me if I don't see what you're writing right now, because I am on a full screen. All right. I'm on a full screen, so I'm not able to see what your activities are. So just bear with me. All right. Let's make sure I get that. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Louisville, Kentucky, is just like any other American white bread police force in America. It is full of corruption, full of lies, and full of murderers. So this came out on BET. Louisville police under investigation for falsifying report to justify Breonna Taylor's killing. Am I shocked that they lied on a police report? Hell no. But see, these cops took it a step further, y'all. They lied to a judge in order to get the no-knock search warrant. They lied to a judge to get the warrant. Now, I did hear more details about Breonna. When she was shot, she was nude. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, all of us at some point in time are nude in our houses. You got to take a bath. You got to take showers. You got to change in and out of your clothes. You're intimate with your husband or your partner. So at some part of the day, we're all going to be nude. Okay. So in my opinion, that is not a really important factor in this story at all. I mean, she was in the privacy of her apartment, and if she want to sleep nude, that is her business. Just like it would be your business if that's something that you do in the privacy of your home. But we're all nude at some point in time in our day. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, now in their lie, they were trying to get the postal inspector to collaborate the lie that she was involved with a narcotics suspect. Now, let's talk about the black men that you see up here. All right. Now, the warrant, ladies and gentlemen, had the name of Jamarcus Glover right here and Adrian Walker. Adrian Walker is related to Kenneth Walker. These two are relatives. Okay, they are relatives. Their names were on the warrant. Now, Kiana Taylor, her name was on the warrant because, not because she was a suspect, because these cops made the accusation that her address was being used for, trafficking drugs. So apparently the post office were delivering packages to her apartment with narcotics. All lies. All lies. Now, the apartment was only in Breonna's name, ladies and gentlemen. Kenneth was there, but he really didn't have anything in his name. It was just her name on that apartment, on the lease. All right. Now, let's get into it. The Louisville Police Department is under investigation for possibly falsifying an affidavit about the death of Breonna Taylor, an emergency room technician who died after officers entered her apartment at 1 a.m. on March 13th and shot her 8 times. Now, there was a total of 22 rounds that these cops shot in the apartment. 8 of the rounds hit Breonna. Okay. According to the affidavit, officers believe Taylor was a compliance to local narcotics suspect right here, Jamarcus Glover, this dude right here with the orange jumpsuit on. You can see part of it. So they tried to say she had connections with him and that Glover was sending packages to Taylor's apartment. The police asked for a no-knock search warrant, allowing them to enter Taylor's home without knocking, writing a warrant that they had verified through the U.S. postal inspector that Jamarcus Glover has been receiving packages at Taylor's home. This is the lie that they told the judge. Thank you, Daryl Dishman. Thank you. Right. So this is the lie they told the judge in order to get the warrant. They didn't verify nothing through the postal inspector. In fact, the postal inspector actually had a little bit of integrity. He said they had no evidence of any drug packages going to Breonna Taylor's home. He would not corroborate the police officer's story. A U.S. postal inspector in Louisville, however, told WDRB News Friday that LMPD did not use his office to verify that Glover was receiving packages at Taylor's apartment. But they told the judge she was getting these packages. That's how they got the warrant in the first place. So they told a straight up lie to the judge. Postal Inspector Tony Gooden told WDRB that a different agency had asked in January to look into whether Taylor's home was receiving suspicious mail, but the office had concluded It wasn't. So the post office said there was no evidence that drug packages were being delivered to Breonna Taylor's home. There's no packages of interest going there, Gooden said. So this man told the truth, and the cops wanted him to say the complete opposite, and he wouldn't do it. Gooden declined to identify the agency that made the request for his office aid, but said it occurred in January and that he told them at the time there was no suspicious mail activity at Taylor's residence. Gooden disclosure has sparked an investigation into Louisville Police Department for justification for a warrant that allowed officers to enter the Springfield Drive apartment without knocking or identifying themselves, and why her home was targeted. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why this no-knock warrant exists. This is just my opinion. With a no-knock, no identification warrant, they're going to always entrap somebody to arrest, because people are going to naturally react in a way of defending their property, defending their family, right? So somebody on that other side of the door is always going to be ready to defend themselves against a police officer that haven't identified themselves and did not knock on your door. And if you are a licensed gun carrier, you're going to defend yourself, your family, and your property. So with this no-knock warranty, you can best believe somebody's going to always be arrested for trying to defend themselves. So to me, the no-knock warranty is always going to entrap somebody. I mean, whether you agree with me or not, that's what I feel the purpose of it is for, is to always entrap somebody. Oh, you attacked a cop. Well, how do you know you attacked a cop when you didn't even identify yourself? You didn't knock. So if you go to anybody's house with a no-knock warrant, you're going to appear to them as an intruder. So it's a no-win situation for anybody that's in a house where they have this no-knock warrant. It's a no-win situation for you. Oh, you shot at a cop. You attacked a cop. So these no-knock warrants should not even exist. Now you got Kenneth Walker, who did absolutely nothing wrong that night, who is now sitting in jail, when it's these three cops that lied to a judge, tried to get the postal inspector to go along with the lie, and they killed Breonna Taylor. They should be in jail. They should have lost their peace license and not even be cops right now. These three cops are murderers. And they should be also charged for lying to a judge in order to get the warrant. Okay, so the police claim Glover was using Taylor's address as his home address and was seen picking up a package from her apartment on January 16th before driving to a known drug house, according to an affidavit for the warrant approved on March 12th. Since January, Louisville police have been conducting surveillance on Taylor's home, where they believe Jamarcus Glover, their main target, was keeping narcotics or proceeds from drug sales. All of that panned out to be untrue. There was no drugs found in Breonna Taylor's apartment. Kenneth Walker had no drugs in his system. Breonna Taylor had no drugs in her system. And there were no packages found in this apartment. All lies. All of these lies originated from these cops that you're looking at. All lies. Okay, a day before the March 13th raid that left Taylor dead, a detective asked a judge to approve the warrant, in part because he claimed a postal inspector verified that Glover was using Taylor's home to receive parcels. The affidavit said lies. The postal inspector said they found nothing. But this is what they told the judge to get the warrant. This is the claim Gooden explicitly denies. And Gooden is the postal inspector. He's denying that he ever told these cops there were packages of drugs there. And Jamarcus Glover was using the address. The postal inspector denied the whole thing. Attorney Benjamin Crump, who is on the team representing Taylor's family in a civil suit against the officers who killed her, wrote in a news release that Gooden's statement directly contradicts what the police stated in the affidavit to secure a no-knock warrant for her home. Gooden further stated that no packages of interest were going there. We will continue to demand transparency from the Louisville police on the behalf of Breonna's family, Crump said in a statement. If this warrant was based on a blatant misrepresentation by LMPD officers to a circuit court judge, they add perjury to the list of the illegal officer conduct that led to a beautiful, innocent woman's death, said the Louisville attorney, Sam Aguilar, who was also representing Taylor's family in the lawsuit. So they have a group of attorneys. It's not just Benjamin Crump, by the way. They should have never been at that home. And they should all be fired and prosecuted to the full extent permitted by law. And I agree with that. These three cops should not have jobs. They should have their peace license taken away from them, and all three need to go to jail for murder. Louisville police have declined to talk further about the incident, saying it is under internal investigation. And we know internal investigations are a bunch of bullshit. We know that. On Saturday morning, a spokesman said it would be inappropriate for us to comment on the specific details of the investigation at this time. Mayor Greg Fisher, who said the investigation should conclude next week, also said through a spokeswoman that it would be inappropriate to comment on details of the case. Detective Brett Hankinson and officers John Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove with LMPD Criminal Interdiction Division burst into Taylor's Springfield Drive apartment around 1 a.m. March 13th to serve a search warrant, according to police records. Taylor was inside the apartment with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. The officers, according to the lawsuit filed against them on behalf of Taylor's family, blindly fired into her apartment, spraying bullets into Taylor's house and neighboring apartments. So the bullets not only hit inside of Breonna's apartments, but the bullets went flying into the neighboring apartments as well. So these they were just reckless. They didn't care. With a total disregarding for the value of human life, Taylor, 26, was shot 8 times. Walker thought they were being robbed. So this is what he's thinking. Wait a minute, somebody's trying to break in here. He's believing that he's in the process of being robbed. So according to his attorney, and fired at officers when they rushed in, hitting Mattingly in the leg. Well, shit, at least you got shot in the leg. Breonna, she got shot 8 times and she's not coming back. I don't feel bad for no officer that got shot in the leg. Walker has been charged with attempted murder, which is a bogus charge. It's a bogus charge. This is why this non-knock warrant shouldn't even exist. He reacted just like anybody else would have reacted in that circumstance. He should not be jailed. These cops should be jailed. But we know how they roll in this country when it comes down to the law. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You know, it sheds an even more evil light on this case. Yeah, but Loretta, I don't consider Breonna being nude in her own apartment a big deal. I mean, I've heard that. We're all nude in our home at one point in time. You're taking showers, you're taking baths, you're going to be intimate with your husband or your partner. You are getting in and out of your clothes at some point in time. We're all nude. I don't see that as a big deal. She's in the privacy of her own apartment. I don't see that as a big deal. We're all nude each and every day in our homes. You know, it was bad enough they lied on a police report. But it's even more of a disgrace that they lied to a judge to get the warrant, and then they tried to get this postal inspector to go along with the lie, and they failed. Right. You know, Najat, that's why I'm not, to me, her being nude in her house is not a big deal to me. Shoot, we're all nude every day, getting in and out of our clothes, getting in and out of the shower. I don't see that as a big deal. Yeah, it is outrageous. You know, but this is how we are policed. We are policed by a bunch of corrupt, murderous cops. And anything they do to us, they're going to falsify it in some kind of way in those police reports. They've been notorious for doing this forever now. You know, it is just, it is draining reading these stories and researching and looking at articles. And it is just, I tell you, it just drains the psyche when you keep seeing this over and over. Well, the fact that she was nude, it does prove one thing. She was absolutely no threat. Sleeping, nude. That means she was no threat to those cops at all, you know? And they never did say if anybody in the neighboring apartments were hit, because the bullets didn't just spray in her apartment, it sprayed to the neighboring the apartments on the other side of her. You know how many people these reckless ass cops could have killed that night? I mean, do you even think that maybe there's kids in these apartments? But they never care when it's one, you know, when it's our children, they don't give a damn about nothing. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's why would at this point, why would we want to be policed by these people at all? You know, enough is enough. Why would you even want these people policing you? I'm not surprised. Smiled to joy if a 5-year-old was almost hit by a bullet. I mean, it was reckless for them to go there at 1 in the morning, and then you're spraying all these bullets around, hitting her and killing her, and the bullets are spraying in other people's apartments. That's a whole disregard for any kind of life. And that's a real reason why these folks shouldn't be policing anybody. They have no regard for human life at all. They don't care. And their goal is to get you at all costs, even if they got to go and lie to a judge, try to get others to lie on their behalf, just as long as they can try to get at you. It is ridiculous. Policing in America is a joke. Thank you, Omar Gray. They was outside shooting at the apartment. Yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous, you know. And I still say Kenneth should not be behind bars. He reacted just like anybody else would react under those circumstances. I would like to know who gets these no knock warrants. Are these mostly on black suspects, which I believe it is? You know, because like I said, with those kind of warrants, they're going to entrap somebody on the other side of that door to arrest, even if you're not involved with in anything. With those kind of warrants, it's a lose-lose situation, whether you are the guilty party or not. He should not be charged at all. They're still trying to get him on attempted murder. Even if he's released, he's still not safe. They're trying to get him on attempted murder. He shouldn't be charged with nothing. The whole thing needs to be dropped. The whole thing, they need to throw those attempted murder charges out. And those cops need to be charged for lying to a judge and murder. You know, and I'm sick and tired of them firing a cop, but they won't take their peace license away from them. So they can cross the county or go into another town and become a cop all over again. This is just a bunch of bullshit up in here. Oh boy. Y'all, I am not going to keep you long. I just wanted to go over, you know, this new information that I had found. And it is just so frustrating. It really is. It really is. I mean, I know it's hardest for the family and the people involved, but psychologically, it really takes its toll on you when you start seeing this multiple times. And then we still got the case of Ahmad. That is still, you know, we got a whole bunch of lying cops in that one too. You know, nothing new. a lying DA, a lying bunch of cops, and the two suspects trying to lie and act like they had their lives were being threatened and they were just defending the community and all that bullshit that's always a bunch of lies. Oh, boy. You know, I pray for these two families, Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. I pray for those two families. It is very difficult for Black folks to get any justice up in America. The system was designed for us never to get justice. And they have been going above and beyond to make sure that does not happen. And it's sick. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I pray each and every day for each and every one of you that the Most High keeps his hedge of protection around you and keep you safe and away from danger. And I hope he fulfills all of your needs while we're in this time of judgment. Amen. Shalom, family.